let's talk about this. This probably won't be a long session, but I think it's important that we go over it because you need to evaluate yours. One of the things I've tried to teach Joseph Allen, who's been with me, and now it will be Nathan Bragdon for a while as a direct student, and some others, is the fact that you need to learn how to critique your own sermons. And critiquing a sermon is really good if you can get your wife to do it or somebody who knows what to do. I mean, based on some of the things that should be considered. It's a wonderful thing to critique them. And these young men that I have in my life and have had, they really profit more, at least from their preaching, from these critiques than nearly any other thing. But nobody will critique you if you're going to rain on them. And if they're not going to critique you honestly, they don't need to critique you at all. And I don't like to hear it. Somebody tells me. But I say, thank God for the person who do it. I would recommend that if you can get your wife or somebody around you who's qualified to do it, to critique your sermons, even if they're not fully qualified, if they can just tell you some pathologies and say it didn't make sense to me. They may not be able to pinpoint what the real answer is, but they can tell you something's not right here. It's a blessing. You do well to surround yourself with at least one or two people like that and give them the liberty, the green light, to go forward. But do it yourself. Whether anybody else does or don't, critique your own self. Give yourself a little guideline like this right here, maybe. What do I look for? So here's some evaluating or critiquing ideas. First of all, does it have good, clear-cut structure? The whole sermon. What about the introduction? Did it meet the time frame? Did it get my attention? Did it segue into the body of the sermon? Was the Bible text introduced? I mean, where's this sermon from? I mean, is this from Revelation? Is this from Genesis? Or where in the Bible? I mean, is this a Bible sermon here? So these are just upfront considerations. And the time frame, again, is did it fit the right length? Then the body. Should it be about 25, 30 minutes? Was there a main point, a first main point, and can I pick it out? As a hearer, can I identify what his first point was, and his second point, his third point? Were there any transitions between point A, or 1, and point 2? What about the supporting subpoints? Were there illustrations? Proper? Did they fit? Were they real? I mean, did it make the point, help the point? Windows. Were there scriptural proofs? Did he quote some authorities? Did he give some good background information here? Does it reflect a historical, contextual context, evaluation? Did he talk about words, the meaning of this word or that word? And I mean, does it reflect some time with a concordance or with a Bible dictionary? I mean, these are things you're looking for in these points here. Was this an exegesis of a Bible text? Do I see it? After I heard the sermon, does I see what he's talking about? Did I think he's right? I mean, did he do it honestly? Did he bring it out? Or did I see him reading into that, saying what it really doesn't say? How about the application of this Bible text? Did it have an application? Did it apply to me? Did it apply to the people around me? How relevant is this sermon? Is this one of those sermons that could have been never preached and it wouldn't have mattered? How do we need it? Yeah. And what about the conclusion? Was it the right length? The so what? Did it draw the whole sermon together and make a good package of it? Did it drive home the theme, the main point? What about the conclusion? This will help in evaluating yourself and anybody. And then some other ideas down here. Did the sermon embody these ingredients? Was it orderly? Well structured? Was there a systematic progression? Point one logically led to point two, logically led to the conclusion, or the main, draw it together. What about it? Was it a systematically well-greased, put-together sermon? Was it a thoroughly biblical sermon? Was it thoroughly biblical in nature? Really biblical, or was this more about my experiences or skyscraper stories, or some missionary did something over there, and so how biblical was it? Did it exalt Christ? Really point to him? Did I see him in this picture? How about solid content? Real substance, depth. How about solid, strong points? Good, drive home points. Was it profound but yet simple and pointed? Because the most profound things on earth can be stated in ordinary language if you'll try hard enough. Did this sermon do that, or was it full of these big long words that I didn't understand and all of this stuff that didn't make much sense to me? Also, did it embody adequate exegesis? Did he dig deep enough to really get the truth out of that sermon? And how about adequate application? An honest application. Did he have to strain to make the point and force the thing and really doesn't apply, just trying to make it apply? I mean, it's artificial. No, we don't want that. Did it have good balance? Was the theology in good balance? And was it honest to the scriptures, not just to the immediate text, but to the scriptures overall? Did it have good flow? Natural, good flow. A balance of humor and proofs and illustrations and scriptures. How about the balance in the sermon? Clear illustrations, crisp illustrations, cohesiveness, passion, freedom and liberty by the preacher. How about intrigue? Did it keep my attention, bring me into the picture, motivate me? Articulate, was it clear? Did he enunciate it well with a minimum of filler? And we all know well what filler is. Was there good body language? Posture? Good eye contact? Does this sermon connect with the audience? Did it connect with me? Was there good audience attention? Were people sleeping or snoring, or were they listening? Timeless, fitting to the occasion. This message out of the Word of God spoke to this today and where I am and where we are in this church. Was it in proper length? And did it have good freedom from pathologies, distractions? Keep the attention on the Lord. So that's a list, not a complete list, but at least enough list. I'd say this, if I could get here and make an A+ on all those, I'd be way ahead of where I am. And without a bunch more. So that's it, fellas. I appreciate your attention. This is all the new material, at least the material that I'm going to present, but I am here and we're all here.